Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. We're looking at episode 7 of Iron-Blooded Orphans, and this has got to be the most Gundam episode of a Gundam show. It's got girls, it's got Gundams. Let's just dive in. Oh, and by the way, there is a scene in here, or an aspect of the show that triggered a memory before Gundam. I can't wait to get into it because it's pretty interesting, but yeah, let's get started. And this is how it starts. It starts with the first G, girls. Reminds me of, I think her name was Bianca in Thunderbolt. Very badass, awesome character. I get the vibes from this character. I mean, this shot is in this for a reason. Yeah, and I'm going to keep the subtitles on for this one because it's just too obvious. Yet again, too obvious, but look, really what's awesome here is they're setting up this other faction that I didn't know existed until now. It's setting up what makes Gundam Gundam and is having conflicting sides, and then the ideologies kind of come in to sort of spell out the rest of the conflict, and yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, and it starts off from where it left off last time, where basically the Tekadon group's trying to get away. I guess Maruba, he was the main guy in charge of that CGS security group, wants his stuff back. I mean, I guess it's his stuff, but I guess we're gonna find this other group called Turbines, a subsidiary of Teiwaz. Okay, there's a lot going on here that's very Gundam, but this is what's gonna start this conflict, and it makes sense. This dude wants his stuff back. He's hired some mercenaries to go take out Tekadon, so obviously there's gonna be some awesome action. And so this is where we meet a new, at first, it seems like could still be the bad guy, antagonist, and he really looks like maybe, I mean, it has to be obvious, right? Michael Jackson, you know, Annie, are you okay? That whole thing. I mean, he really does look like a smooth criminal. All right, and who is that over there on the left? And what a delicious name Biscuit is, so I agree. And there's a lot of exposition here. Basically, they're explaining how this, oh man, what are the Turbines? They're gonna go after Tekadon, but they're like, no, we're gonna team up. They're gonna help us get to where we need to. So this just allows a little bit of action at this point until they all come together. This is almost like a filler episode in a way, but done in the right way, where it's explaining the characters, letting you get to know them. Cool animation going on, a bunch of mobile suit battles. That comment about Cordelia being property is interesting because she's like, I'm not sure what that means. And then it cuts to this lady, like, what was her name, like Fumita or something like that? But anyway, you know, the communications lady that I was pretty sus about. So let's see what happens. I tell you, this episode is doing it on purpose. You could punish me any day, dear. Really? Okay, this is pretty cool because we're seeing, when it gets to the mecha action, the stuff I like, we have the ships, we have the turbines departing. It's these new characters we've met. One from the beginning, Laughter Frankland. Interesting name. And this other one, Amida Arca and AZ Guruman. I mean, you know, hey, these are the names, okay? This is what they're giving me. And as Mikazuki is getting into the Barbados, his mechanic was letting him know it's not properly tuned yet for battle. He's like, no, it's okay, I got it. It was actually interesting to see how we got into the cockpit, how it's really right below the head, but at the top of the chest, it opens up. We see him sit down, connect into that system, Lenavon wrong, I don't know, I just made up some words, and then it lowers the cockpit, or the seat into the cockpit. I kind of like that way of doing it. It's a little different than we've seen in others. So this is the word. Can I get it to fit on here, actually? Here we go. Aleya Vijnana. So this is like a real word. Let's see, is a complex and multifaceted concept in Buddhist philosophy, particularly in Yogacara and Vijnanavada schools. I think I did pretty good there. It refers to the storehouse consciousness or basis consciousness, which is seen as the fundamental unbroken stream of consciousness that underlies all mental and physical phenomena. So I like that idea and how they're directly relating that idea to, you know, a connection to interface with a machine. But what's also interesting that is brought up is the guy Maruba, you know, from the Kreese security group, mentions that he has the children at a young age get the system implanted. So this is when the ideologies come into play, because you have this new Turbines group from Teiwaz or whatever. That lead guy didn't like what he heard Maruba say about using the kids and selling that system on them. And I guess those ideologies, again, this plays into the greater kind of Gundam way of storytelling, is they're able to choose their side they're on based on that. So at first, the turbines are just doing this job, but then when they see what it's for, what it's about, how it dealt with what they did with the children at a young age, they decide to switch sides. And, not only are we getting mobile suit action, but we're also getting ship battles. What I like about it is they're explaining how they're doing the combat, right? We're not getting where stories about the characters or story about the world of what's going on. We're actually hearing the characters explain the maneuvers and the action they're doing in combat, and that's what I really like. And it's really hard for stories to get those aspects well, where you can tell stories about characters, you can tell stories about the world, but then you can tell little mini stories that are describing the actions taking place in the world to kind of give better meaning to the characters in the world they're in. IBO's doing it good. See, this is a funny type character, laughter. My nails didn't have time to dry yet, humph. Like, they did such a good job introducing these new characters and giving them the little personality. Again, this was done on purpose. It's very interesting because Kudelia is meeting that other character, I keep forgetting her name, that likes Mikaguchi. But anyway, they're putting on their space suits, their normal suits, and I think something came to Kudelia where she feels like there are actions she can take here to kind of make a difference and not sit back and have the whole thing being about her. Pretty interesting character development. Again, another funny thing here where she's complaining about how rude she is and licks her lips again. They're doing the thing here. Okay, this is something I want to bring up that I think is very interesting. This mobile suit we're seeing here that Laughter is piloting is this STH-14S Hayakuri. Anyway, you know what's interesting about this? Before I got into Gundam, I actually bought and built this model kit because I was just, I've always been into Mecha, just never really landed on a cool Mecha universe. I remember just seeing this at GameStop, buying it, building it, being like, it's okay, but doesn't pull me in. Isn't that funny? It's not until I build the full armor unicorn, the real grade full armor unicorn, that I got pulled in to Gundam. But it's interesting, I kept getting pulled back, drawn into the Mecha model kits. Isn't that interesting? I mean, this is a cool design. Don't get me wrong. I do like this design. But it's very interesting that it took a real grade full armor unicorn to pull me in to the series. Yeah, what is going on? And just very cool. Again, doing the spaceship battling, using tactics, while Mikazuki is in the Barbados fighting. It's very interesting because he had the cable. He was pulling, I think it was Laughter's mobile suit, and he was able to stick it into an asteroid to kind of give himself the leverage and just to show off really how strong he is. And we have, another battles going on between, I guess, Amida and that other character, but using that custom grays, I think it's called. So we get a new suit in red, we get the custom grays, which is cool just to see a custom version of a mobile suit we saw earlier with new mobile suits, with the Barbados while the ships are battling. I mean, this episode has everything. Yeah, and just as Mika and Laughter were about to take each other out, Orga calls out that, hey, it's been settled. It's all good. They're on the same team now. They want to listen to their story to see what it's about. All right, and there you have it. That is episode 7 of Iron-Blooded Orphans. Mainly what was going on here is just very cool, where we're introduced to some new characters. We kind of get an idea of where they are in the world, what their ideologies are, kind of see how they are in battle. And I really like this episode really dived into kind of the essence of a lot of Gundam or anime in general. We get some anime babes that are drawn and animated for specific reasons, but also among that, we get the badass mobile suit battling. We get different types of mobile suits. We get spaceships battling. We get kind of the tactics being called out. This episode really had everything, and it's really, really well done. I got to say, I am surprised how good of a show IBO is compared to the more recent Witch from Mercury, which, yeah, I understand it's made for a different audience, but it's like, it really is night and day with the type of shows these are. Anyway, let me know what you think below. I think it's very interesting what this episode's about, and the fact that it had that model kit, the mobile suit of a model kit I built a long time ago, didn't even realize what it was from. Have you built any model kits from this episode? Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk later. See y'all.